Coming up, we are here at CSUN, the Assistive Technology Conference in California. And today we're talking to eSight, Envision, and Humanware.
This is Double Tap, your daily accessible technology show. We're coming to you from California, USA, for the 40th CSUN Assistive Technology Conference. Here's your hosts, Stephen Scott and Sean Priest.
All right, let's talk some serious tech here, Sean. I know it's unusual for us to do that. Double tap, I know. But let's talk to eSight, a company we have talked about and to before on the show. We have Roland Mattern, the Director of Sales. Hi to you.
Good morning. How are you guys?
We're good. Yeah. We're good. Thank you. And we also have Cosmo Moore, who's a user of eSight, but also part of the coaching program, teaching people how to use eSight. Welcome to you, Cosmo.
Thank you.
Listen, fantastic to have you both here. For those who don't know, Roland, what is eSight?
So eSight is a wearable assistive technology for central vision loss. So think of it as a wearable CCTV, uses cameras, softwares, and OLED monitors to get the central image onto the retina that still has photoreceptors that are functional, that gets information to the brain for interpretation. And the way our users describe it is the blind spot sort of shrinks away as they manipulate the image with magnification, contrast settings, color filters, whatever they need to use to optimize the image for their retinal stimulation.
Wow. Okay. How long has eSight been going? Because the name seems to have been floating around our community for years and years.
It has indeed. So this particular product that we have at CSUN this year is the eSight Go, which is really the fifth generation product, the fourth commercial one. But the initial prototype was launched in 2013. So it's been a little over 10 years now that we've had technology in the market. And of course, over the years, it's gotten smaller, better, lighter, longer battery life, greater field of view, all those stepwise improvements to get to the product we have today.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned OLED screens, for example, and I think the version I tried, which was 3, and that was a good while ago, yes. It didn't have OLED screens, obviously. The technology has changed, it's moved on, it's improved. So, great technology in there. Cosmo, from your point of view, you're using this every day. How does it help you?
My vision is 20/600. I have optic nerve atrophy, and so that means what a normally sighted person can see at 600 feet, I have to get up at 20 to see, and the legally blind limit is 20/200. So I'm pretty visually impaired, but I navigate okay. I don't need a cane. I came on board with eSight in 2018 with the eSight 3, and they pretty soon after brought me on board the coaching team. It makes a huge difference in details, and that's what I struggle with. Nothing's blurry for me. It's just I need to get really close. I need to hold normal size text about 2 inches from my face. I need to hold my phone about 1.5 inches away from my face. So the eSight zooms up to 24 times, and getting to see those details is a game changer. And one of my first major moments with eSight was I went to the zoo with my wife and kid, and early on, there's some flamingos. And I start looking at the flamingos, and I'm like, wow, I can see the feathers. I can see the details. And wife and kid kept going because they've seen the flamingos before. And I look around and, oh no, they're gone. And before eSight, I would have to, honey, where are you? Come back, find me. And that's embarrassing for a grown man. So I flip my eSight down, and I immediately spot them about 50 yards away. And that was a really good feeling to have some independence and be able to find them. And leisure activities is where I get the most bang for my buck with the eSight. Going to concerts, I can actually see the people on stage. I went with my son's a huge Godzilla fan, and there was a really good Japanese-made Godzilla movie last year, Godzilla -1, all in subtitles. And so the first time I went with him, I did not bring my eSight, and I just watched the monster stuff, but couldn't really follow any of the human stuff. Second time when I took him, I brought the eSight, and I was delighted that it worked, and I could follow the subtitles. Some of the times it was too fast, but I could read most of the line, and it's the first time I've ever been able to read subtitles in a movie.
That's amazing.
It's all those things, though, isn't it? You mentioned the word game-changing, and it's used a lot, right? Yeah. But I think it just is. It's simple as that. But how do you feel wearing them? I mean, because we talked about how the design has changed over the years. You've been around for years, and now you're on version 5. So do you feel sort of out of place or conspicuous wearing them?
This is the least conspicuous one. My dad bought me, in 2001, my senior year of high school, another competitor's device, and it was huge. It was about 6 inches tall. It sat on your forehead, and it worked great. But at 18, I was too self-conscious to wear it, and I never wore it at college. When I got eSight 3, it was definitely a little bit more conspicuous than that. It had a wired controller that went down. It was very rectangular. It did not look like glasses like these do. But I live in Los Angeles. I don't know if it's just an LA thing, but I'm surprised how few people ask me about it. I guess there's enough weird people in LA.
I'm the oldest roller skating and wearing headbands anyway.
Yeah, and sorry.
You watch everything from the 80s.
Yes. That's what LA is to me. That's all it is in my mind.
Yeah, and most people think I'm a VR gamer. And
of course.
The conversations are always really nice, and it's so nice with Star Trek. I just say I'm like Geordi from Star Trek, and that's enough in the zeitgeist that people understand what it is.
Yeah, we really worked hard. We challenged the engineers because on previous versions, that was the feedback. You know, a lot of potential customers would say, well, it helps me, it's great. I'm not wearing that in public. And so when we started the design process for the eSight Go, we really challenged the engineers not only to improve vision and the image quality of the device, make it lighter, make it smaller, make it less obvious that I'm wearing an assistive device. And they've done a really nice job. I mean, it looks almost like cataract sunglasses. The battery's out of the device, so it reduces a ton of weight. You wear it around the neck, like a little yoke around your neck. It's very comfortable. Get more battery life out of it that way. And the headset itself only weighs 130 grams, whereas the previous version was 540. So it's really has become a nice, light, wearable device that you can wear in public and not stand out as much as with some of the other devices that are out there.
And things have changed, right? I remember when Apple Vision Pro came out, and I remember thinking, well, you and I said this how many times? Well, that's all these companies dead because, you know, that's it, Apple Vision Pro. And that never really happened, right? Developers couldn't access the cameras, which meant that you couldn't really develop into that platform. And I could see great potential for even eSight yourselves to develop onto a platform like that. But what it also did when it came out was kind of take away the stigma of wearing a large ski goggle headset out and about. Now, I know you're not really supposed to walk around with your Apple Vision Pro, but plenty of people do.
Well, VR in general has done
VR
that.
now, right?
Yeah.
So people are used to wearing it. So the stigma of wearing that has gone. And I remember interviewing someone years ago. They had eSight 3, and they told me that they loved wearing it because people would actually come up and talk to them. So it was a flip side, actually, for her. She felt, actually, it's kind of nice people come up and ask because they don't see me as this blind person trying to get around. They're kind of intrigued to know, oh, what's that thing you've got? And they ask questions and, actually engages people with conversation. I don't know if Sean and I would feel that way.
No, I think so. It's a conversation starter. It's the same thing when we started using the iPhone. So many times people would come up to you and say, how are you using that? And it was quite nice. I mean, after a while, it got a little bit annoying, I admit. But
Well, I had it about 700 times.
Yeah, I just find it so interesting, though. We talk about the game change that it makes to our daily living. But at the same time, and I'm exactly the same, it's like, yeah, but how do I look in it? That vanity over, I know, but this can give you some vision back. Yeah, I don't care. Do I look an idiot in it? That vanity's still there, especially when you're younger, So it is an important thing that, you got to take into consideration, the design.
And these are at a distance that the front is glossy, so it kind of gives off a sunglasses vibe. And so from a distance, it doesn't really catch your eye. And up close, it definitely looks like assistive technology. I'm pleased with how rugged it feels. The plastics are very solid. With the previous eSights, I always carried them in their case and was very delicate with them. These, they fold up like sunglasses, and walking around here, I put them in my pocket. And I was afraid I was going to hate the neck battery. It looks like a little horseshoe, but it's very ergonomic, it's flexible, and it's very comfortable. And I love how rugged they are. And the controls on the headset are very easy. And there's a remote also, but I find that I don't want to lose the remote, so I just use these buttons up here on the right arm.
Oh, we'd lose the remote within 3 seconds.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's gone. Yeah, stick an AirTag on it.
The nice thing is with the controls on the right temple arm, they're nice and tactile. You can do anything with the device that you need to with those buttons. And you're completely hands-free.
So what's this costing now?
So we are at $49.50 US.
Because that's come right down.
It's come right down. I mean,
It was 15,000
back in the day. It was 15,000.
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
eSight 3.
I did a demo for eSight 1, and it worked. It got me down to 2020, but it was bulky enough, and $15,000. I was a high school football coach at the time. I said, I can't justify this. No. And then they've been working hard to get that price down.
But the one thing that is a real problem when you buy assistive technology, I see this all the time, I speak to so many people, is when you get a piece of this kind of tech, you get it, you pull it out of the box, you turn it on, you're lost. And there's no one to help you. What do you do? How do you make this work? I've just bought something recently, and it's the same thing, right? It's like really great, but I can't really work out how it works. I can imagine it going back. You've got around that. You've thought about this, and that's kind of where you come in, Cosmo, but it's also where your team comes in, right? Where you're coaching people. You're buddying people up, is that right?
Yeah, I mean, the last thing we want is for this to be a transactional relationship. We don't want to have this product, somebody tries it, they love it, works for them, they take it home, and they're on their own. So with eSight, we have a coaching program. So when you become an eSight user in North America, we have a set of coaches. You're assigned a coach, and that's your contact person. So if you need help, call your coach. If there's a warranty issue, call your coach. Need some troubleshooting, call your coach. And out of the box, they'll get you from opening up the box, to booting it up, to setting it up, to wearing it, to talking about what are your goals? What do you want to do with this? Do you want to watch TV and read, or do you want to go see soccer games in the neighborhood? And they can talk through all scenarios, because all the coaches are users themselves. So they have insights into the tricks to optimize this device for whatever scenario that myself as a sighted person will never be able to get to. So it's a wonderful community to become part of when you purchase an eSight. And we also have monthly webinars where we pick different topics, gardening with eSight as an example, and all the coaches give their experience and their kind of tricks of the trade when they garden with the device. And on Mondays, we have just a quick call in. If people have questions or want to share something, they can call in. There's an hour-long coffee time call in.
I love it. I love
so
all
it's a
that.
real community
That's
we're trying
brilliant.
to build and connect people and connect users with each other too, so they can help each other out. So it really is not a transactional company. It's something that we want to.
Also, you give us it for free.
Yeah, thank you.
This is transaction.
Shall I
but it's
check
not
under my chair? I got one here.
You get an eSight.
And there's no time limit on it. You have me as a coach, and as long as you have an eSight. So even once the coaching's complete, if you have a troubleshooting issue or just forget something, and they have a direct number to me and my email, so there's no phone tree they have to go through, and it's really personalized.
So if people want to find out more about eSight in North America, what should they do?
Best place to go is our website, which is www.esighteyewear.com. All of our content information is on there as well. Product information. It's just about to have a new website come live in the next couple of weeks. So there'll be some new business or new information on there as well. There's also forms you can fill out to contact us, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can.
Fantastic. Roland, Cosmo, thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having us. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Great to chat with the eSight guys there. And, it's a piece of technology I wish I could benefit from. That's the truth. I wish I could. I tried it years ago. Didn't work for me. And I think that's the important thing. You've got to try it, because you never know, right? You've got RP. There was probably a time when you could have used it.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're losing your central vision or your peripheral vision, this is something you can try. It's not going to work for everyone. I think it is important that people do know that. Yeah. That is, it can only help individual cases. So, but it's something. It's a solution to try.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, you heard how to get in touch and find out more about it. So go do that. Let's talk about something that everyone can enjoy, and that is AI. Don't we love AI? AI is absolutely everything. I want a smart bathtub. Can I get one of those?
No.
Okay.
Move on.
Well, as one thing we can do, if I'm going to talk to Karthik about this, we get Karthik Karnan here from Envision. Good to have you on Double Tap once again. So in person.
Thank you so much. Yes, it's been a long time coming, but CSUN's the one place where everybody just gets together every year. I'm excited to catch up with you guys in person finally.
Is everyone on you at the minute saying, hey, talk to me about Envision, talk to me about Ally?
Yeah. I have, people from across the user base wanting to talk about Ally. A lot of my DMs. So we have a Slack group that we created for Ally beta channel testers. And I'm actually getting more DMs there than the company Slack at Envision. So
That doesn't surprise me.
yeah, I mean, I'm happy. I mean, some of it is definitely constructive. Some of it is really good. Some of it is like, So the nice thing about Ally is that every feedback is just as unique as Ally itself, right? So it's nice for me to go through each one of them and like make a note of it and then talk to the team. So we're in that phase where we're iterating very quickly, and so a lot of feedback coming in, and very, very excited.
Okay, now Sean wants to ask questions, but I have so many, so get in line.
Yeah, I'll just sit here. Okay, carry on.
So I want to ask about Ally. Now, first off, is it Ally or Ally?
Oh, it's Ally, as in it's meant to be a friend, or it's meant to be some kind of a companion of sorts. So that's Ally.
Sorry, was that the question you barged in front of me to ask?
Yes,
Okay.
because I'll tell you why. Because
Obviously.
so if you know my show and you know how this show works, Karthik, my brain goes off in strange tangents. So when I started talking to Ally, I called her Ali, and then it got me thinking about Ally McBeal, a show I used to watch years ago, whatever that was, and then I get into a whole thing with it.
I can only apologise, Karthik.
I'm like, where is Callista Flockhart now, and what's going on with this? And that got me into this whole thing, and then I learned that Jane Krakowski was going to be in London.
And did Ally answer all
Yes.
this? Yes.
Ally was fantastic, and it was lovely. It was a great conversation we had. I think she got fed up with me in the end.
Okay.
But,
right. Stop now.
What?
Could I just... We should point out what Ally actually is for anyone that hasn't
knows what Ally is.
heard of
Please
it
do.
before.
Yes.
Well, after your description, I'm not sure.
Okay, what is Ally?
You can go down a rabbit hole with Ally. That's the whole point of it. So Ally is a conversational, very, very personalizable, ubiquitous assistant that a blind or low vision person could use in their daily lives to get not just answers to things that they have questions around, they can get things done from it, but also just go down rabbit holes, by wanting to talk about things that are important to them. I think
McBeal, apparently.
Yeah, Ali McBeal for one.
Have you watched it?
No, I haven't. But
sure.
I'm gonna ask my ally about it now.
I'll probably tell you, Stephen's been asking about this already. But the thing about Ally is, I've got it in my head now. The thing about Ally is that it is available across platforms, so you can get it on iOS. And the big story this week is that it's now out and available. It's out of beta, right?
Yeah.
So it's available on iOS and Android.
It's available on iOS. It's available on Android. It's available on the desktop as well. You could, if any particular device that has a web browser on it, you could just go to web.ally.me.
I did not know that.
Yeah, and you can use it on the web. We're going to be giving every ally a phone number at some point, so you could basically add, talk to Ally over a phone call. You could WhatsApp Ally. You could like add it to your Telegram, for example, or just like use iMessage to talk to it. So Ally is going to be there across all platforms. My favorite platform was of course the glasses, because I'm obsessed with AI on glasses, and I think I see a lot of people having like a lot of value out of having Ally on the glasses. But primarily, Ally is meant to be a tool that can be used across all platforms, not just iOS, not just Android, anything that has a web browser on it.
Oh, that's cool.
So the question must be, what sets Ally apart from ChatGPT or Gemini, the others that we're seeing out there now?
Yeah, I think there are a few things. The first thing is that, Ally is extremely simple to use, and it's built for accessibility in mind. A lot of tools that, are currently hot in the accessibility space, a lot of AI assistants that are currently hot in the accessibility space don't score very high on accessibility. There is a lot of customization that a user has to do in order to get, for example, the ChatGPT to respond in a way that makes sense to them as a blind or a low vision person. A lot of that heavy lifting is done by Ally. The second key thing with Ally is that it's very easily personalizable. So Ally not just comes with the 5 voices that most of these assistants tend to ship with, or the demure personality that most of these assistants tend to ship with. You can go down to giving Ally a communication style. You could tell it things that it can talk about, things it can't talk about. My Ally is an especially colorful, foul-mouthed 1930s stand-up comedian from Britain. So embodies the best of that era.
Wow.
You know,
Best of that era?
yeah. So it's always foul mouthed, and it keeps talking, and it keeps making a joke out of everything, which is how I like it. And there's somebody in the company who has Alfred from Batman as one of their personalities.
Oh, that's good.
Right. And the beauty of Ally is you can write a personality or a backstory to it. You can give it information about yourself, and you also have a lot more choices in terms of the voices to pick from, right? Like if I want to have like an Alfred from Batman, I'm looking for something that's a bit more British, got a deeper voice. So we've got those options with Ally as well. And lastly, I think, to be very honest, I believe that Ally is on the glasses is a very unique, one of a kind tool that a blind or low vision person could use, which other AI assistants, at least at the moment, other AI assistants aren't like going full-fledged into the whole AI plus glasses angle.
Yeah, and I want to touch on the glasses conversation as well, but because you and I've talked about this many times before, but I want to ask about price, because at the moment, is Ally free?
Yes, Ally is free at the moment, and we haven't really decided on what would be the right pricing for it, or what would be the details of the subscription model that we might eventually go down to, or if that is even the right model for us. So we actually have a note on the Ally app which says, hey, we're really thinking about pricing right now, and we'd love to know a little bit of get some feedback from the community, and we're definitely open to the community, talking to community to understand what's the right way to go about pricing an assistant like this, right? Like we can either go down the $20 per month route that everyone is going down on, right? And then gatekeep like a lot of features, make the free version like really impossible to use, or we could have a very healthy free version that a lot of people could use, and then we could move to offer some things as a premium service, the ones that tend to cost us the most money.
Oh, you could do what City does, which would just be terrible and free.
Yeah, exactly. That's something I can do if I'm Apple, but no, we've got a bit more taste than that. Ouch.
Wow. Okay.
I thought I went too far. Well, wow.
You mentioned the personality aspect, what sets it apart, right? And you've got a foul-mouthed comedian as your assistant, which is surprisingly popular, I find. A lot of people have that. But I think what interested me as I was taking part in the beta was running for quite a while, was that sort of taking away of those guardrails, really. It actually helped. There was none of that, I can't describe this person because it was afraid to offend somebody. It would just tell you what it could see in front of you. And I think that's really important as well.
Yeah. No, I think that's definitely, I believe, the future of these kind of AI assistants, because the highly corporate speak nerfed version that a lot of people have on their pockets right now, they are like extremely limited, right? I think people are a bit more mature than that, and I think we should give people the option to like say, hey, you know what, I'd like to get descriptions of like maybe NSFW images if I need to, right? Like who are we to actually say no or yes to it? So we try to implement guardrails still. We don't want Ally to go off on like a really dark tangent, so we have all the standard guardrails of the industry, but we also believe that the audience is mature enough to understand what this is for, and if they want colorful language, like it's fine. It's totally okay to not be a prude about it, right? So that's the philosophy that we have at Ally when it comes to designing, what it can do and what it can't do. There's some guardrails, but we kind of like relaxed it a bit more so that people can make it a bit more colorful.
I mean, the way you've designed it, it doesn't feel like an app or a service for blind people. Was that deliberate?
Yep, it was deliberate. I think we wanted to build something that we hope can have a wider appeal. And that way, it has a lot of effects. I think one, having just a wider appeal gives us like a bigger, better user base to work with. But also in the long run, it can help reduce costs for the community as well, right? So if we have a wider user base, we have a bigger volume, we're able to price it at a better price point, which can have a really good impact on the accessibility community. And that's what we're we are trying to do with Ally. And also I think from the very beginning at Envision, it always makes us roll our eyes when we look at accessibility software and don't find it, conventionally attractive, right? There is it's against our philosophy to not design something nicely or well just because it's made for someone in the blind and low vision community. I think we can make
big white box or whatever it is, just so clinical or medical looking.
Exactly. We should be imaginative. We can be imaginative, right? So why not do that? That's been our approach from the beginning.
And I'm 100% behind you on that, because I think, you know what, your business has to survive, and part of that survival for services like ours to exist, we need more buy-in. So to make a product that can work for the mainstream, but also be at its heart accessibility focused, so that we as a blind person can say to Ally, hey, I'm blind, talk to me like a blind person. It will know what that means. And it's not to say that the other ones don't, but it's different. We've said this before, when something's tuned for our purposes,
it makes all the difference.
It does.
That's why I wasn't too upset when we lost the look and tell feature in the UK on the Meta Ray-Bans, because it just, those guardrails they had up made it far too limiting to use for, mobility or anything really. So, it is important. As you said, just treat us like adults as well. I mean, we can handle it.
Exactly, right? And what's the point of giving your AI a lot of capabilities if you're not going to, for example, if I look at a bank statement and ask it to summarize it for me, I know at least to some extent that, okay, an AI can go wrong. And if, instead of if it's off by a few, $100,000, you will know, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
Someone's doing well.
Someone's doing, exactly. So I think if you let AI kind of do what it can do, and let the humans kind of decide on whether they should take it at face value, or if they want to double down on it, get another opinion on it, I think it's up to them, right? But I do definitely believe that giving AI less guardrails, especially if you're trying to make it a general purpose assistant, it helps.
Let's talk about glasses. So Google Glass has been part of it for a long time, part of Envision, in the sense of that's what you've been using to build the Envision platform on. Clearly, that's not going to happen forever.
Yeah.
So what's the long-term plan?
Yeah.
Because we know, for example, Project Aria, you've been working with Meta.
Yeah.
That's a research project to some degree at the moment to essentially try out some cool new indoor navigation tools. We were watching the video from Meta. We talked about it on the show a couple of weeks ago. I mean, it was very exciting. What's the long-term plan with that?
I think the long-term plan for us is to be able to work with other smart glasses manufacturers apart from, Google itself. But that is in the long term, right? So for the short term, our plan is to continue to sell the current hardware we have, to support the current hardware well into the future. Our roadmap is very much hinged on the current hardware right now. At the same time, we're talking, for example, we did this project with Meta where we kind of, took their not yet released version of glasses, put our software on it, and basically helped someone navigate inside a grocery store all by themselves with 3D audio. Yes. So those are the kind of experiments that Envision is doing right now on the next generation of glasses. With the current generation of glasses, though they are great, the big problem with them is they're not open to developers. So as much as we'd like to work with other glasses like the Ray-Bans or the ones that Google might put out in the near future, one, either they're too bulky, they're those VR type headsets that people can't really wear around, or they look good like the Ray-Bans, but then it's not open for developers to work with in any capacity.
And also, you seem to want to build onto the glasses as a platform, right? Yeah. You don't want it to be that the glasses are an accessory to the phone. The phone is essentially doing all the work and you're connecting that way. You don't seem to want to go down that route.
No, I think we've gone down that route, and it's honestly not been the best experience for the users, right? Any device that asks you to connect to your phone either via Bluetooth or via one of those cables that go in the back all the way, those aren't the ideal form factor to work with. The ideal form factor to work with is when you have standalone hardware that you can run your software on, and you could just leave your phone without, or not have it like have worry that your phone should be around you all the time or should be connected in some way. So from that perspective, the next generation of glasses are all standalone glasses. At least, like, I can't talk so much about like things
Oh,
right
go on.
now.
Give us an exclusive. Why not?
I would get sued by
By
the
who?
powers that be.
Oh, okay.
But
That's vague.
yeah. Yeah. But yeah, we're definitely excited about the next generation. And I guess it's still some time away before developers can build very freely on top of these devices. Like, there's maybe 1 or 2 more generations to go, which is why our bet is still on the current hardware.
Okay, what, are we talking a year? Are we talking 2 years? What do you think?
I think it's at least about a year.
Okay.
Right?
Oh, that's not too bad.
Yeah, it's not too far away, but it's also the case where we know, okay, we've got enough hardware to cover us for the next year, and we're also planning to support this for current generation of Envision glasses would still continue to receive updates at least 2 to 3 years down the line.
Wow.
That's how we've done.
Are you hitting any limitations with the Google glasses, the performance, the hardware that's in them? Are you hitting any limitations?
As of now, not. We're about, I would say, 70% of utilization, right? 60 to 70% of utilization. So that's after 5 years of working on those glasses, we've hit that, and we will probably max it out in another 2 to 3 years, right? I think the main innovation right now that's happening in AI is happening on the cloud.
Yeah.
Not a lot of innovation is yet coming down on device because these models are still really big. And to put them onto a pair of glasses, even the latest generation of glasses, that still is not there yet. So a lot of innovation is going to happen on the cloud. And if innovation happens on the cloud, then your hardware is just a front, like a facade. And that doesn't have to change. Things behind it will change. And that's what makes me confident that we can continue to roll out updates for the glasses in the coming years.
That's very interesting. So you would still recommend people to buy the Google Glass?
Definitely. I think we're selling them here at CSUN, and we're quite bullish on it. And it's just the fact that I am yet to encounter a piece of hardware that is that open, that is that capable and that open.
Do you know, I've got to say, what you've managed to do with it is very impressive. Because when I was using it, at first, before Ally came along, and actually I say that, I mean, in that time frame, I thought it was a little bit sluggish at that time, but you've really managed to ramp up. I mean, it feels way more snappy these days than it ever did. And I thought, how are you getting this out of these glasses? It's really smart, really, really smart.
Yeah, no, we have good engineers at Envision, I'd say. Yeah, but I think we're obsessed with trying to get every last bit of performance out of this hardware. Like I said, like for me, the biggest gripe with this hardware not being available anymore is the fact that it's so open. Like, Google gave us such free reign with the software that we could just literally strip out every last bit of software Google put on it, put our own software, and we could own the entire thing from the ground up. And maybe
Nothing else like that, is there?
Nothing else like that at the moment.
Talk to us before you go about CSUN and Ally here, because you can use Ally while you're at CSUN, right?
Yes.
Well, I mean, you can anyway, but I mean, it's specifically built with CSUN in mind.
Yeah. So one thing that we wanted to do every year when we come to CSUN, there's always this big booklet that we're given, and we have to go through the booklet to know which sessions are happening. And there's a version of it on the web as well that you can store and stuff. So this year, what we thought, since we have Ally, and Ally is capable of being customized quite well, we decided to create an Ally specifically for CSUN. So anybody who is at CSUN could go to csun.ally.me, that's csun.ally.me, and they could have a conversation with Ally about CSUN. They could ask questions like, hey, can you tell me when is the happy hour happening, right? And Ally would be able to answer that for you. Or when if you want to know where karaoke is, or even if you want to know...
I'll never want to know that.
Yeah. That's for me though. Yeah.
Neil Diamond?
Yeah.
Neil Diamond?
Neil Diamond, the Beatles.
Beatles.
The
Okay,
Beatles.
yeah,
Bit of
Old
Pink
classics.
Yeah, Pink Floyd if it's a little.
Wait, no.
But anyone can, and you can even ask questions like which, when is a particular session happening? Oh, can you tell me about what AI sessions are happening at CSUN, right? And Ally would know that information. Or if a particular exhibitor, you want to know, hey, where is exactly Envision exhibiting at CSUN? Or where can I find Google? Or where can I find Meta? Or, you could ask any question about CSUN to Ally, and Ally will just be able to have a conversation with you and answer those questions. And it's something that we have made available for everyone. You don't need to sign up, or you don't need to give us your account details or any of that stuff. Just go to csun.ally.me and then hit a button, and you can start having a conversation.
That's amazing. Before you go, quick question. The web interface for Ally. I'm calling it Ally. Can you upload pictures too? Can you get image descriptions and stuff?
Yes.
I love it.
You can. Brilliant. So you can actually get image descriptions. We're soon going to be bringing the ability to upload files. You could upload an MP3 file, a PDF, Word doc, PPT, whatever you have in your desktop, you can just throw into Ally, and Ally will be able to interpret that for you. You can even use Ally to scan documents. So what we're going to do is we're going to connect Ally, since we have Ally on your phone and Ally on the desktop, you could use your phone as a scanner. So you could tell Ally, I'm going to scan a document, and Ally would open up the scanner on your phone. Then you can scan a document using Ally's document guidance technology. So it tells you move your phone a little bit to the left, to the right, takes a picture on your phone, and then pops that up on the desktop so you can have a conversation about it.
That's cool.
That's very clever.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. So that's also coming very, very soon over to beta, a couple of weeks.
Karthik, it's great to talk to you. Thanks so much for coming on to Double Tap again.
Thank you so much, Stephen. Thanks for having me,
Nice
Sean.
to meet you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Let's just say a huge thank you to Glidance for supporting us on our trip here to CSUN this year. Do check out Glidance online. And of course, if you're at CSUN, go check out the booth and get a demo of that Glide device, which we're all keen to play with, aren't we? Right, listen, if you want to get involved with the show, here's how.
Get in touch with Double Tap. Email feedback@doubletaponair.com. Leave us a voicemail at 1-877-803-4567. And now you can send an audio or video message to us on WhatsApp. That number is 1-613-481-0144.
All right, let's talk all about Humanware. Of course, a great Canadian company that we know well. We've talked to Humanware a lot of the time. I use my Mantis Q40 all the time.
All the time.
All the time I'm talking about it. I love that they bring QWERTY to Braille. It is the perfect marriage. As far as, like you and I, it's like the perfect marriage.
Okay, calm down. Move on.
Well, with us today, we have the Director of Product Management from Humanware in Canada, Eric Beauchamp. Did I get that right?
You got that right. That's
Wow.
perfect.
That was the first. I should have got you to try and do it.
No, please.
What are you here showcasing at CSUN?
We have all kinds of new products. Well, not new products, but new innovation on our products. So we're very proud of having a lot of versions, software versions on our on our products. So the Brilliant has a new version. Talking about the Stellar Trek, we're launching a new version. The Stream has a new version. So we're working really hard to bring a lot of value feature on our products. So we are demonstrating on the low vision side a lot of our low vision magnifiers. On the Braille side, we're demonstrating our Brilliance, all our Brilliant lines. So the BI40X, the BI20X, the Mantis Q40, which you love.
Yeah, I do.
A little story anecdote on that. There's someone in my team that is blind called Maryse Legault, and she uses the Mantis every day. She loves it. Finally, she can get rid of that keyboard on her computer and only use one device with a screen. She's always using that device every day. So a lot of new software updates that are coming out. And very proud, this week we're launching the Annie in Canada. So we're going to be distributing the Annie product in Canada.
Yeah, so for people who haven't been following along, because we did speak to your team and Andrew Flatteres in particular from Humanware now probably about a year or so ago when Annie was launched. And of course, it's very much a product that came out of the developing world to some degree. For the developing world initially, but as you say, now becoming available in Canada. That's a teaching aid for children.
It is. It's
for Braille.
Yeah, for Braille, for learning Braille. So for the youngster that is starting to learn Braille, and there is an ecosystem behind that product called Helios, which brings a lot of exercise to be able to bring the fun out of learning. So I was talking to one of the creators of the Annie product, and he was saying that there was a use case where a teacher was using it as a reward at the end of the class. If a student was listening correctly and they did homework or anything like that, it was a reward for that student to go and play with the Annie. But at the same time, playing and learning, that's the best way to learn.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's we've talked about this so many times, that the need for more children to learn Braille. And I talk about it all the time. And I talk about it from my point of view as someone who was low vision growing up and didn't have access to Braille learning, and how useful that would have been at that time. So to give this opportunity to more children is good. Of course, it does require the schools and the education departments to buy these devices in. What kind of response are you getting in Canada in the early days? And we're talking, I know it's very early days because it's this week.
It's a very good response, very good. The product, there's been a lot of traction on the product, a lot of interest. But what's interesting is that, you know, when we go out and try to sell our products or try to demonstrate our products, it's really the Braille literacy that's important, right? I'm not low vision and I'm not blind, but I read a lot. And if I can't read, I can't get my education. I can't have a higher paying job. I can't do a lot of these things. I can't go around and be productive. So that's why I think Braille literacy is very important. It's your way of reading and not be lazy and always listen to audio. There's other ways of getting that information out and having it pass along. So yeah, we're very proud of that. A lot of interest. We've been out in the west of Canada showcasing it with SET BC, and a lot of good reception, a lot of good comments.
We've always talked about the importance when it comes to education and Braille literacy, and of course, but it's getting kids to learn it as well. You got to make it fun, right? And that gamifying the learning of Braille is really important.
Absolutely. And I have a son, a 14-year-old son, and that's the best way to learn. You know, when he goes to school and you gamify the learning, that's how it stays in the head and sticks with them. Yeah, absolutely.
So that's now available in Canada. Now, can anyone buy it, or is it purely for education at this point?
Anyone can buy it.
Right.
Anyone can buy it, absolutely. If somebody wants to learn the Braille, for sure it's going to be made for a young student. But if an adult would like to learn, yes, it's going to be kind of childish applications, but they can still learn. They can still follow.
Sounds good to me.
Absolutely. I mean, is there any way to adapt that for an adult? Is that something you've
there is talks in the roadmap to make it evolve because, as you know, if you're aiming at a certain age, then what happens after that? Yeah. Right. So you're always thinking about that future.
You could even go as far as teenager, right? I mean, it could
Absolutely.
be, it doesn't have to be kids of a young age. It could be teenagers or early years or whatever it might be.
It's kind of a bit like the story for Keysoft on our Braille Note Touch products, right? We like to say that we like to follow the student from a younger age up to the working place, right? So they always have that knowledge or that Braille literacy and how to use those tools, how to use our productivity tools and be an effective or bring what they...
No, I get what you mean.
I lost my words right now.
No, I get you.
To be productive in the society.
If only a Braille. You could But, I mean, I think that when it comes to learning, it is vital. And it's great to see tools like this launching. But of course, you have a wide range of products. And, it's funny because I tend to think of Humanware as Braille devices because that's the category that I'm using. But of course, you do cover low vision, right?
Absolutely.
So you've got, and I'm so pleased to see reading the website the other night. You've probably had them for a while. But I remember the days where the XY table on the old magnification screens was going away. It was kind of moving towards a different style. The Prodigy 20 was one of my last experiences. Prodigy Duo, yes, that's right, with a 20-inch screen, wasn't it? And I thought it was great, but I missed my XY table, and that's back. Much easier to navigate when you're moving your document around with one of those. Is that why it came back?
It came back because change is hard.
So the people like me were using it wrong. Is that what you're saying?
People are comfortable in their own. There's a saying in French, comfortable in their own socks or old socks, right?
Yep.
You don't want to change them. But
Sean knows about that. Yes, how old those socks are.
So was that due to customer demand? It came back there. Was it due to popular demand? Was it the feedback?
I'm going to say yes and no. We were with the Prodigy Duo and desktop. It was a very innovative product. We were the first ones without an XY table. It was very hard to get it out there because it was a new concept, and that's what happens when you're maybe a bit too early with these kinds of technology.
Yeah.
So you have to step back. You say we learned a lot. Starting with the Prodigy Duo, that brought the Connect 12, the first version, the second version, and it brought also the Reveal 16i. That's all based on that knowledge that we've learned on the Prodigy Duo. We brought back the XY table as an offering because you can buy it with or without an XY table.
Right.
So you have the choice. But yes, we noticed that for elderly people, the XY table is a lot easier to manage or to move their documents.
When I was at school, I used to have one of those units, which actually came with its own trolley and someone to push the trolley. Mm-hmm. I would turn up to class like Beyonce with an entourage of people, one carrying bags of books, one pushing a trolley, one pushing me. It was ridiculous. It really was, and how technology has changed. But it's interesting because, of course, as you know, there was a period of time where we would sit down with someone like yourself to talk about low vision and we'd say, yeah, but my phone can do all that nowadays. I don't need that big, bulky device anymore. I can use my phone. There is a marked difference, though, isn't there? When I speak to people who use these devices, they say, yeah, but these devices are built, high quality cameras, high quality lenses, high quality technology in there, great screens. So there is still a market, despite the advances in iPhone and iPad technology and even Android tablets. There's still a real need for this kind of device.
Absolutely. We talked about Braille literacy, right? Someone that reads Braille is proud to read Braille.
Yeah.
Right? Same thing for low vision. Mm-hmm. Low vision people are going to be proud. They want to keep using their eyesight as long as they can.
Yeah.
As minimum as they have it, they want to keep using it. So that's why these devices, specific devices made for them with a big screen, with the color contrast, with the zooming on it, is very important because it makes them proud. Look, I can still read the book that I've read last year or the year before that, before I lost my vision. I was out with one of our sales guys, actually in the UK, in London, and he was a war buff. When we showed him the Reveal 16, he was awed. He took his big book. I don't know how big it was, but it was a huge book. It was a war book. Just opened the book. And he started crying because he could see the page that he remembered a couple of years back reading.
Interesting.
Right?
Yeah.
He got, he was low vision because he got into an accident and he lost his vision. But that's why I do this. I'm a software engineer by trade. Fell in love with the products, the mission of our company, and got interested on the why. Who am I helping with this? And I'm proud of saying that I'm helping a lot of people with these devices that we come up with.
Yeah,
absolutely. And low vision's a massive market as well, right? I mean, so many people. I was low vision for decades, and it was that sort of stuff that allowed me to do things. So absolutely. And there is some crossover of technology here as well. You mentioned, Stephen, the iPhone and smartphones. But I remember my first CCTV, as you mentioned, being wheeled in on a trolley. It was a huge CRT with a massive camera on it. But that miniaturization of cameras and the better cameras we have now, that must have made an impact onto this sort of stuff as well.
Absolutely. The numerical digital effect of the cameras, right? The cameras are so small now, and we can do so much in the software side to improve the quality. It reduces a lot of the package. So a lot of these magnifiers that you see, that if you come by our booth, we have different versions of the magnifier. So we have a 5-inch, an 8-inch, a 12-inch.
Yeah.
That's what happens, right? So you got these portable devices that help you throughout your journey or throughout your day. If I'm dressing up, if I go to a store, if I'm reading my bill. So you got all these use cases that can be solved now.
And it's not just about reading, is it? I mean, I know people use them for crafts. They use them for doing their nails. They, whatever it might be. That's exactly what this kind of thing is for. And of course, if you are reading text, you can manipulate that text. You can choose the color background, or you can choose the text color, size of text. You don't have to have it. It's not like a traditional old style magnifier. There's a lot more to it, but you can use it in that way. Talk to me about, so as I've said a lot on the show as well, the cost of specialist technology is always a challenge, right?
Always.
You'll know this more than anyone else.
Always.
It's the challenge of life. But I guess what you're trying to do is, and it's one of the benefits, I guess, of modern technology is, instead of us having to continually buy a new product, you can update. Victor Reader Stream is a perfect example of this. So the second generation, you had run out of road with that product. There was only so much you could do. I was amazed to learn that it had been 10 years prior when it was first launched. I thought, wow, it's been out that long? But there's only so much you can update by that point. So when the new version comes out, some people were a bit nervous because there was a few issues at the start, a couple of bugs along the way, as you might expect. But of course, with the modern technology, you can fix that. So you can solve these problems and you can just keep updating it. Now, you've talked earlier about the updates that are coming. So talk to us about what's new that you're showcasing, sort of headline features that you're highlighting, let's say on the Stellar Trek, on the Victor Reader, across the range.
Yeah. One product that comes up in mine is our new product called the Odyssey. We distribute that product. It's a reading machine. So you put your sheet underneath and it starts reading automatically. The new update that was launched about 2 weeks ago integrates AI into that. So you can have a document translated in French, English, or Spanish. You can request some information out of it, so a summary of the document, or even asking a question, kind of what do I have to pay on? What's the amount of my bill that I have to pay, and when? So AI is a big part now of our day-to-day when we're developing these products that can be included in all of our products. And one of our first AI experience was with the Stellar Trek, now with the Odyssey, and we're working towards other products which will include a lot of AIs. I don't know if you've noticed, but Humanware has been very conservative on the AI part of things. The wearables, like I'm seeing that you're wearing the Meta glasses.
Yes.
Very conservative. Why? Because we want to make certain that we are addressing real issues and not creating an issue for people or a need for somebody to buy our products. And AI brings a problem of privacy at the same time. So we're very sensitive to that. Privacy of data, privacy of life, very sensitive to that. Wearables is something that we're not sure if glasses are the right media for a wearable. Is there other medias? We explored with the Stellar Trek. The Stellar Trek is our GPS device, which brings you from point A to B. And then we added AI to that, so that point B to the door, it will bring you. So to confirm that you're at the right address, that there is effectively a door, and where is the door? We've added
$10 problem.
That's an AI problem.
Yeah.
And we came out with that a couple of years back in the pandemic, during the pandemic. That was a hard product to come out with because everything slowed down.
Yeah.
We had problems getting components and things like that. But that was our first AI product that we came out with because it solved a real problem. Because people were getting at point B and saying, well, there's no door. I'm not at the right address. So we tried to solve that problem for users. And we integrated more AI to that. And very soon we're going to have, well, I think it's released. We have a pedestrian crossing available. So you're going to be at an intersection. And it's going to detect that there's a pedestrian passing. So it's going to guide you in the right direction to be able to cross an intersection correctly at the right place and at the right moment. So again, AI generated. So we're always looking for these kinds of little problems that we can solve and bring real value to the product.
And any chance of the Victor Reader Trek making its way back?
There was a lot of talk about it. When we launched the Victor Reader Trek or the Trekker Breeze or that kind of product,
That's going back.
it was a 2 product in one, right?
Yeah.
It was the GPS with the reading, the audio on it, and we decided to bring it as one product does one specific thing. So the Stellar Trek is a GPS device which does OCR. It doesn't do the reading part of it because it was complicated and everything. But the first feedback that we got when we launched it, we want the reading part back.
Yeah.
So
But is that just time?
I'm going to give you a scoop.
Okay.
No.
We're going to have a version that's going to integrate books inside the Stellar Trek. So you'll be able to travel, get your direction, where you're going, and at the same time listening to your books.
In the existing device?
In the existing device. So it's going to be a free update. That's going to be so this is a scoop firsthand.
Well, well done. I think there's people who might have been holding back on the Stellar Trek.
Absolutely.
And there you go. There's the answer.
Yeah.
I like it.
Going back to AI for just 1 second, you must have a lot of confidence there then. Because, if we go back to the Odyssey and someone's scanning a document and saying, give me a summary or how much do I owe, you've got to be confident that it's giving you the correct information there.
Absolutely. And with the engines that are coming out in AI, like ChatGPT, Gemini, and all kinds of others that are out there, they use the mainstream technologies to be able to be more accurate in the AI. So now AI is part of our life everywhere. So it's getting better and better and better. And we are leveraging those kinds of technology. We have no choice because, like you said, in our field, everything is at a high cost of development. And a lot of people ask me, why do you sell these products at a high cost like that? Well, we have no choice because we spend a lot of engineering time developing these in the right form factor for our users, but also because of the quantities. We're a small market. We're a niche market. We're not selling hundreds of thousands of products a year. So that's why the cost is very high. We try very hard at Humanware to lower the cost as low as possible. And that being said, we're trying several strategies to be able to do that. One of them is integrating mainstream technology like AI, ChatGPT, Gemini models that are out there.
Just briefly, tell us about the Braille lineup. So the BI20X, the BI40X. We know the Mantis recently did a big update with the text-to-speech update. What's new in the BI20 and 40 that you're showcasing?
I'm not going to talk about that.
You already gave us one scoop. I mean, you can
there's stuff in development. We're not stopping development. Okay. That's of course on all our products. We are continuing maintaining all of our products, and there's a lot of interesting stuff coming. So.
Coming soon.
Coming soon.
Okay.
Fine. Eric, it's been wonderful talking to you. Thanks so much for coming over to Double Tap today.
Thank you very much for having me.
Enjoy.
It was a pleasure.
Well, that was a fun show, wasn't it, Sean?
Absolutely. Fantastic.
Yeah, well, listen, we are back tomorrow with more. Just before we go, though, a huge thank you to BeMyEyes and AMI Audio for supporting us on our trip here to CSUN. We're back with more coverage tomorrow, so join us for that. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you. Bye-bye.